Greetings, and welcome to the Homewrecker Podcast. I am the Golden Greek, Alex Arion. I'm joined as always by my beautiful, lovely, gorgeous, amazing trophy wife, the lovely Monique. Hi Monique, how are you today?
Hello, I'm excellent. How are you?
Phenomenal.
Yes.
Fantastic.
Yay.
As always. Yes. Alright.
Now that we've gotten that out of
So,
the way.
Welcome everyone.
Yes, hello. Thanks
Hello.
for tuning in.
Yes. So, how you doing?
I'm great.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's good. Always good.
So, was it last week we talked about the bee that I helped and the squirrel?
Yes.
So, I feel like I'm becoming like the insect and animal whisperer because...
There's more?
Yeah.
Wow.
Today I was outside, I was going to make organite, and in my case I saw a little stink bug kind of made a home in my organite drawer. And I was like, oh, you don't want to live here. So I picked it up and I brought it outside, and she kind of just hung out with me for a while. And then she went away, and then she came back when I was done making organite. So we kind of hung out for a little bit.
Did you guys exchange stories? Did you talk about things?
We just kind of hung out.
You
I
just hung
took
out?
pictures.
Your girl talk?
Yeah, we had some girl talk, and then while I was with her, a squirrel, you know the tree stump?
The tree stump. In
Between
the
us and our
backyard?
neighbor?
Yes. We have a tree stump in the backyard, everybody.
Yeah.
Okay.
But I'm saying so he knows what I'm
Yeah.
talking about. So the tree stump is what, maybe like 3 feet away from where I'm at, and 2 squirrels go running by, and then one jumps up on the stump, and it's just kind of hanging out. It's looking at me, and I'm like, hi. And it's just like hanging out for a little bit, and I'm like, all right, and then it scampered off. It's really neat. I love being outside.
Yes. Being outside is great.
Yes.
Nature and whatnot.
Yeah.
All
Don't be
right.
afraid of bugs. They're cute. Find the
Yes.
beauty in them.
Yes, you can
Yeah.
have girl talk conversations
Yeah.
with them. What have you. All right. Well, that's great.
Don't knock it till
So-
you try it.
I'm not knocking it. I'm not knocking it.
Alrighty.
Now, I'm looking over here, trying to find... There it is. Okay. Apologies. I'm trying to find my phone because
Were
right
you
before...
not prepared?
No, I'm want. Come on. How do you prepare for a podcast, really? So I was looking at something that I found very interesting. It actually ties into something we've talked about in the past. The FBI admits existence of giant human-like aliens in a declassified 1947 report.
What?
Yeah.
What?
See, I waited to tell you. Yeah. I waited to tell you because
Wait, where did you get that from?
this is from the Daily Star, a UK newspaper. Now, again, consider the source, but
Usually that's where the true stuff is at.
they're declassified FBI documents. So, if you believe everything that the FBI says and does,
Sorry.
if you believe in that agency or any government agency, then they have in the past already admitted and documented that they have found giant alien-like beings. Interdimensional beings is what the document said. Yeah.
Okay, so this is kind of like, it's throwing me off because part of me is like, oh, we were talking about it, it's true,
Uh-huh.
it's real. But then I'm like, if they release that, it's probably because they want it to get out. So
Yeah.
people like us can be like, see, it's true, but they're using it to distract us because there's something else going on.
I am now, it's funny because now all this stuff that I used to be fascinated by, used to somewhat believe in, I now am skeptical of literally everything. I believe in nothing anymore. Like, I believe in none of this stuff, any of it's true. I believe it's all been made up, and for whatever reason, whatever purpose, and I think it's just designed to keep people going on a wild goose chase, researching things that are complete nonsense and that don't exist. I believe only what my eyes, my ears, my senses tell me, and that's what I see in my life, in my reality every single day. That's all I believe anymore. I don't believe anything else. I really don't. I've decided that it's all BS. None of it's real. I don't believe any of it. unless I see it and prove it for myself, I don't believe it just because I read it somewhere or saw it on TV. I don't believe anything anymore. I really don't. It's kind of sad because all the things that used to fascinate me, like I said, and used to be so interested and excited about, I'm now like, come on. You'd think it would be the other way around. Like, oh wow, they're finally admitting it. They're disclosing all this information. They're talking about UFOs. They're doing all this.
But
and that.
because it's coming from the government, that's why
I don't believe
trust
any of it. I don't believe any of it at all. It's kind of sad.
It is.
Little me, teenage me, adolescent me is should be happy, but adult me is like, no, dude, don't believe any of it. It's
cool,
crap.
Though. It's exciting, but I don't know if I can trust it. That's the problem.
There's a numerologist whose website I go to every now and again, and I'm on his email list and stuff like that, and he allegedly, supposedly has a lot of contacts in professional sports and in politics, and I guess he's got some people supposedly that are in the Trump administration, and he's saying that President Trump has been talking about declassifying all the UFO information in late October, right before the election. Obviously, this is all hearsay, but this is what this guy's saying that Trump has been talking about with his people.
Okay, so let's say that happens.
Yeah.
It all gets declassified. The thing is, can you trust any of it? Can you believe it? That's the problem. It's like, for all you know, it's disinformation being set up to put out, like, they're being transparent about things just to throw us off.
Yeah, well, I already said that once they start declassifying and putting all this stuff out there, and once you start hearing about it on the news or reading about it in the newspaper, it's BS. It's completely BS. Because everything that they put out is BS by design. It's all by design to get you in hysterics. Look at the country now. 14 days to flatten the curve and stop the spread, and here we are still.
Give us a month. Give us a month
Yeah.
to
Yeah.
you know.
And now we're talking about a second wave and blah blah blah. How predictable is this? Go back to the episode with Sean Gorman.
Oh my gosh.
How
yeah.
prescient were he and I in that episode? Because you didn't really talk much in that episode.
No, I just let you guys go.
But what did we say?
You basically
We
said
basically called everything
yeah,
that's happened
everything.
since then.
With the exception of the fall of the U.S. dollar, the collapse of the dollar, but I'm sure that's fine.
I mean, that's everybody.
It's inevitable.
Everybody's been seeing that for the longest time.
Yeah.
But as far as everything else that's going on, we said at the time when did we record that episode? Was it in late March?
Yeah.
It was like right when everything first started happening.
First started.
Yeah, and we said it's only going to get worse, and here we are. Here we are later, in late September, just a few days from my birthday.
That's right. Your birthday's
Good
in a few days.
grief. Yeah,
How do
So-
you feel?
like any other day. We've talked about birthdays on this show too. They don't mean much to me. It's just another day. I feel fine. I feel the same as I've always felt. Actually, surprisingly, with all the nonsense that's going on in the world lately, since I've started kind of tuning out from a lot of this stuff and getting off of social media and everything, I've been feeling really good lately.
Good.
Like just really positive and just
Yeah.
really good all
I
around.
limit my social media. I do our social media, and I've I'm not putting stuff out every single day just
Yeah.
because I don't want to go online every day. And if I do, it's like to promote my stuff and, just I like to, I'm blanking on the word now, but I like to like other people's things because it's just a positive thing. Like you like when somebody likes your stuff. It's like you want to support people. I want to be supportive. That's the word I couldn't think of.
Yeah.
I want to be supportive of other people. So I'll go on and like stuff. But other than that, that's it. I'm not reading a bunch of stuff. I'm not going down rabbit holes because I don't want to. And it's like, I'm all set.
Yeah, and it's like I was saying before, I feel almost like all these things, all these different stuff that we've talked about and that we'll probably talk about again in the future. I feel like they've all been just, maybe there's like a nugget of truth in some of these things, but I feel like they've all been designed to get people like us who are inquisitive, who try to think, who try to be rational about things. They're almost designed to get us to go down these rabbit holes and try to figure out these mysteries.
But here's the thing.
And
Think about,
really
like,
there's nothing
folklore.
there.
It stems from something. Yes, the stories might get built up and changed around, but I think that there's truth in what's out there, in what is the stories that are being told. Not everything's true, but I think it comes from some kind of truth. And I think it's figuring out what is real and what's not real. And that is the really hard part.
Again, like I said to you, the only thing for me that is real is what is in my world, in my reality. That's it. I don't care what's going on across the country or down the road. It's what's going on in my world. Because that's all I can control. That's all that I have any power over. I can't control what my neighbor's doing. I can't control what you're doing. I can only control what I do and how I act and how I react.
You can't control what happens around you. You can control how you react to it.
Yeah, that's it. So that's where I'm at right now. But like I said, ever since I've kind of adopted this attitude, especially the last few months, I've just been where everybody else is kind of in a panic, not knowing what to do, uneasy. I'm just kind of like,
I'm just like, whatever.
Nothing's really changed for me.
No, I'm gonna do my thing and be a good person, and
yeah. That's it.
That's all it is.
That's all it. I mean, really, if everybody just did that, how much better off would we be? Just mind your own business, mind what you can have any effect on, and I mean, seriously, there you go. We just solved it. World peace. Worry about yourself, nobody else, and there you go. World peace.
World peace. Don't be a dick.
Yeah, don't. Exactly. There you go.
It's my motto. Don't be a dick, and you'll be all set.
There you go.
Yeah. So, and it's funny because a lot of things that we've talked about, especially in earlier episodes and even more recent episodes, are now kind of coming back to us. And especially with what we're going to talk about today, we're going to talk about a movie that at first I'm like, what the hell is this? And, well, let me explain. Alex put on a movie, and I was in the other room, so I missed the first, 5 seconds?
Yeah, like 5 seconds.
And I walk in, and I'm like, what is this? And he's like, oh, it's called Iron Sky. And I'm like, okay. And it begins with, like, these astronauts on the moon, and I'm just thinking, like, okay, is this supposed to be, like, about a documentary? Or I didn't know what kind of movie it was. And then as we're watching this, I was like, what the hell am I watching? I didn't realize what it was supposed to be, and once I figured it out, I was like, oh, okay. So I was like, all right.
It's a campy science fiction campy comedy, very politically incorrect comedy.
It's awesome.
It's fantastic.
Yeah.
We came out in 2012?
2012, yes. And it's called Iron Sky, and it is directed by Timo Vuorensola.
That's how I would have said it too.
I tried. I'm gonna mess up the names. I apologize.
I believe it was in Germany that this came out. Is it a German film?
It's all German actors for the most part, with the exception of Christopher Kirby, who played James Washington.
All right.
We're gonna just be like thinking about parts of the movie and laugh. I apologize. But, yeah.
Oh, so yeah, we're doing a movie review?
Yeah, movie review, spoilers.
Since we didn't really mention that, we just kind of started talking about other things.
Yeah.
But yeah, getting into the meat of the show now.
Yeah, so this movie, apparently over 10% of funding came from fans. And you, Alex, realized that the director made another movie before it?
Yeah, I believe it was called, we haven't watched it yet, but we're going to watch it. We'll probably talk about it. I don't know if we're going to do a whole show about it or not, depends, but Star Wrecked, which I guess is supposed to be a parody spoof on Star Trek. And I guess it had like a big cult following. It was a big cult favorite. And when the fans of that movie, who were following this director and his work, found out that he was in the process of doing another movie, which is what ended up being Iron Sky, they started crowdfunding and raising money to...
That's awesome.
Yeah, I guess to help it. I think I have that story correct. If not, I'll correct it in a future episode if we talk about it again. But to the best of my knowledge, that's what happened there. And I think that there's a couple of parts where in the movie where there's some radio talk or something like that. There's some stuff going on. I think in the airplanes or something, there's fighter jets or something going on. There's a lot of talk back and forth. And I guess that is actually fans that donated money to help fund the film, where they would record things and send it into the director. He put it into the movie.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it's pretty neat, pretty cool concept.
That's so cool.
Yeah, it's one of those deals where people just liked this guy's work, and when they found out he wanted to do more and was doing more, they were like, oh, hey, let's help him out. Which is, pretty neat. And I mean, you saw the final product. It's great.
Oh, it was wonderful.
And I just found it completely by accident. I think I told you, it was one of those, I'm a horrible, I can't sleep at night for various reasons. I have a difficult time going to sleep, so I end up watching a lot of, I don't even really watch TV because we don't have TV, but we have like Vudu, Amazon Prime, stuff like that. So I won't even watch stuff. I'll just kind of scroll through and see what's there and try to make a note of it so that you and I can watch something later on. And
go on.
Oh.
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt. Go
No,
on.
it's okay. And what I do is sometimes if I see something that looks kind of like, oh, okay, I'll make like on Vudu they have lists. And on Amazon you can do it like add it to like a watch list, right? Sometimes if there's a trailer, I'll watch the trailer. I'll turn the volume way down so I don't wake you, and I'll watch a trailer. And you're like, oh, okay, that looks interesting. So this is one of those movies where I watch the trailer and I'm like, what is this? Because it was just the like the little the little icon they have on the whatever.
Yeah.
And I'm like, what is this? This looks kind of interesting. And then I read the description. I'm like, what? Let's watch the trailer. Watch the trailer. I'm like, this is awesome. This looks great. And
I'll read the synopsis.
Found it completely by accident, like I said.
I'm going to read the synopsis from IMDb.
Sure.
But first, I just want to say it's funny because you talk about, like, you'll put stuff on. I am such a light sleeper that he has to basically put the volume down so low he can't hear it, and he has to put subtitles
I put the subtitles. I ended up just reading what's going on.
And even sometimes I'll wake up and be like, oh my god, it's so loud.
Yeah.
And so it'll still wake me up. So
yeah.
I'm sorry that you have to deal with that.
Why?
So the synopsis: the Nazis set up a secret base on the dark side of the moon in 1945, where they hide out and plan to return to power in 2018.
There it is.
There it is.
There's the that's what the movie's about, and it's awesome. It's so awesome.
So I don't want to spend the whole time talking about this movie because I want to talk about the sequel as well.
Oh, we're going to do a double movie review?
Yeah, I figure we can, because I want people to watch it even if they listen.
Yeah, that's cool.
But, so the movie starts off with like these two astronauts and
Did we say spoilers? We did.
Spoilers.
Okay,
movie
big time
review.
spoilers.
Yeah.
So, it's a movie review, and I guess we're going to talk about the sequel too.
I'm going to try not to spoil everything.
Yeah, we'll try. Yeah, we'll try not to, but check these out. And even whatever.
Pause right now and watch it.
Yeah, even if you want to listen and you haven't seen the movies, just watch them anyway because they're hilarious. They're funny. But be prepared. You may get offended because they're not politically correct. And that's okay.
It is. It makes it enjoyable.
Exactly.
So these astronauts show up on the moon, and one of them kind of walks over to another part, and they're like, oh my gosh. And it basically kind of shows, it's like this whole, like, civilization, if you will, but there's like mining going on and there's vehicles driving around and
it's a base.
It's a base. And I don't want to give too much away. I'm not going to go play by play, but there's a lot of very funny parts. The main actress, her name is Julia Dietz, and her character is Renate Richter.
Renata,
thank you. And she actually, I liked her character a lot. She's kind of like the baby face of the movie.
Yeah, I mean, well, she is.
Yeah, but there's another character, Klaus Adler, played by Götz Otto. And then there is the character Wolfgang Fleisch, I don't know if I'm saying it right, played by Udo Kier. And Udo Kier, I'm like, I know this guy. He's been in stuff. What has he been in?
He's been in a lot of stuff. He was in Ace Ventura: Pet Detective.
Yeah, he was in Blade. Uh-huh.
He's been in a bunch of movies.
If
you see him, you'll
recognize
him. Yeah, because he's been in a lot of movies.
Yes. And then, as we said, Christopher Kirby plays James Washington. He's one of the astronauts who basically gets taken by these Nazis who made a base. And I'm trying to think of what I want to give away. I'll let you kind of lead it because I'm just thinking about what happens.
He gets captured. They interrogate. They find his iPhone. And of course, these are Nazis who escaped to the moon in 1945. Is the storyline here. So 1945, they've been on the moon. They don't know what's going on Earth. They just have their technology, and they've been expanding on their technology that they've had, but they don't know about all the stuff that's going on Earth. So they get this guy, this astronaut, and he's got his iPhone on it. And they look at the iPhone like, what is this? And he explains it to them. You know, and they're still like, what? And he basically tells them it's like a computer.
Yeah, because it's little, and they have they're like, this is a computer.
Like, no,
it takes up the whole room.
This is a computer, and it points to this wall of stuff. You know, which is what a computer used to be.
Yeah.
Would be these enormous structures. But yeah, so anyhow, they take him hostage and turn him to their side and make him work for them.
Well, they try
to get him. Yes, and he agrees to work with them because he wants to get back to Earth because they destroyed his craft.
Yes, but they have a craft that they can use to go to Earth. So one of the main characters, Klaus
what is that craft? It's a frickin' flying saucer.
Yeah, it's a spaceship.
It's a flying saucer.
Yeah.
Yeah. So.
Klaus Adler says, like, let me go to Earth, and because they were trying to use the power from the iPhone to do something with whatever they were doing, and they needed more of those. So he's like, let me go to Earth, and Renata follows them, and James Washington.
Well, she's a stowaway. She doesn't follow them. She
wants to go. So she's a teacher. Because they are basically like, they brought all these people on the moon. There are kids there. There are families there. And she's a teacher, and she teaches about Earth. And she feels like, I should be going to Earth. I know the most about it. I've studied it. And it's crazy to think, like, imagine growing up, like, your whole life living somewhere, never actually, like, being there, but teaching all about it. It's kind of crazy.
Well, that's like most teachers in schools nowadays that teach geography. How many of them have been to Antarctica or other places, other places they teach about? Same idea. But imagine it being a planet, right?
But she stows away, and they go to Earth, and some crazy stuff happens. The President of the United States, I was like, is she supposed to be like Sarah Palin?
It's a woman. Yeah, they have a woman.
But the way she looked, I just didn't know if that's what they were trying to do.
I don't know, but I told you because you mentioned that you thought that that's maybe what they were trying to spoof. The movie came out in 2012. Sarah Palin was in the public eye. Well, she's probably always been in the public eye, but she was prominent in 2008 when she was John McCain's running mate when he was running against Obama. And it was shortly after that she was kind of out of the public eye because of issues with her family. There's
a lot of stuff.
I don't think that this is what they were trying
It's just the way she looked, and that's why I was
I agree. The actress that they chose looked a lot like her.
And the actress who played the president was Stephanie Hall. And there was another female character, Peta Sargent played Vivian Wagner. Now, was she the press secretary?
It didn't really say what she... I forget.
I think it was something like that. And she kind of handled...
I think she worked on the campaign.
Or public relations or something like that. She might have been like PR or press secretary.
Right.
But it's just all these characters get involved. And the movie is hilarious. I don't want to give anything away. I really want people to watch this. I'll let you kind of talk about it because I'm worried about
you gave the synopsis. Okay, so the Nazis, they come to Earth, right? And then they come to Earth and they start a war, essentially.
Yeah, that's their plan, but they end up working. They fall into some luck in a way, I guess you could say.
Yeah, it's comedic and all the stuff that happens. It's obviously it's campy. It's very campy. It's very obviously unbelievable. There's a lot of stuff. Trigger warning. There's a lot of political incorrectness. So if any of that kind of stuff offends you, get ready. Be warned. But if you don't want to give away a lot of stuff, then you can't really.
Yeah.
I don't know how you're going to...
But what I wanted to talk about, too, with this movie is they're talking about a base on the moon. A Nazi base on the moon.
Right.
Now, in one of our earlier episodes, was it last year, we talked about the moon and different theories. And there are theories that there was bases on the moon. I can't remember if one of them was a base that Hitler made, but when we recently spoke about Antarctica, we talked about bases in Antarctica where allegedly Hitler had bases. And it's just interesting that we talk about these things and then, oh, here's a movie about stuff that we've talked about. So I think that's partly why we love it so much. But it just, I don't know, it makes you wonder, anytime movies come out about something, is it imagination or is it like fantasy, or are they trying to tell you something? Are they trying to let you know, give you a little bit of truth?
I think if you're talking about a movie that came out of America, where the CIA is heavily involved in Hollywood and in all the productions that go out, whether they're about government stuff or not, then yes, I think that they have a hand in it, and they put things in it that they want you to see or they want you to believe, I guess, for lack of a better word. That's my view. Because, and it's not, I'm not saying anything that isn't known. Every movie has CIA involvement. So there you go. And now, especially in the last decade or so, China has bought a lot of interest in Hollywood. They own a lot of studios. They have controlling interest in a lot of studios. So a lot of stuff that you see in movies, if you notice, a lot of positivity towards China. Which, whatever, I don't know how you feel about that or whatever. It doesn't matter. But it's something that's very pronounced. The movie The Martian, for example, with Matt Damon. I think, wasn't it China that essentially saved the day in that movie? I think it was the Chinese government or Chinese scientists that helped him out.
I thought it was the potatoes.
He made potatoes, but I mean,
well, they kept him alive.
They shined a light on China of all countries, and it was very positive, and it was because China had a big stake in that movie. But anyway,
it's amazing how good you can make yourself look when you have money.
Yeah, right. That's why I say I never believe anything I see on TV because somebody's paying for what you're seeing, essentially. So with this movie though, coming out of Germany, I don't know the director's history. I don't know what his background is, so I don't know. He could just be a big conspiracy theory fan and wanted to put a bunch of these conspiracies in his movies, which he does.
Yes.
And
which is great.
I think that's why I enjoyed it. It wasn't just because we've talked about it. It's just because it was just funny watching all the, oh, look at that, oh, that's awesome, look at that. Oh,
getting different references.
He fit this in there. He fit this in there. Look at this plot line. Look at this. And so I thought it was just very well done how he tied all these different things together and had to be the backdrop of his characters and the story. Very, very well done.
Yes. Basically, it's a funny movie, and everyone should watch it.
Yeah, it's not for kids either. This is language, a lot of adult situations, some sexual scenes and stuff like that, and lots of violence. Yeah. A lot of vulgarity and things like that. So yeah, it's not for kids at all, but definitely worth checking out.
Tuck the kiddos in.
Yeah, tuck the kiddos in and then check it out. Yeah, exactly. But yeah, very, very good movie. Just really funny. And was followed up with a sequel.
Yes.
That came out in
2019.
It was actually 2019 is what IMDb says. It came out in January this year.
Oh.
Yeah. And that's actually, the sequel is the one that I misspoke earlier. The sequel is the one that I saw first. Oh. And that's the one I watched the trailer for and went, oh, that looks interesting. And then I realized after watching the trailer, this is the continuation of something, and that's when I looked it up and looked into it and said, oh, there's a prequel to this, or there's a movie that this is a sequel to, I should say. So and that's when I found it.
So it's called Iron Sky, The Coming Race.
Yes.
And so it came out in 2019, 2020.
Yeah.
And same director. And there's a couple of the same characters, but not everyone reprised their role.
Yeah, because it takes place,
so
50 years after...
Well, kind of. The movie takes place, the first one takes place in 2018.
Right.
And then this one kind of starts off where they left off, sort of. It's like shortly after, I think.
Shortly, yeah. It picks up there, but then
the fast forwards
about 50 years into the future.
Yes. And it's funny, Tom Green is in the sequel as Donald.
Yes, that's right. That's right.
And I'm trying to think. So Julia Dietz is in it again as Renata. Laura Rossi plays Obi Washington. Vladimir Berkolov plays Sasha. Udo Kier is in it again. Kit Dale plays Malcolm, and this is a guy who I guess is like a black belt, like mixed martial art. He does jujitsu. He does all different kinds of stuff. Because in the movie, he does like a lot of fighting. He's a real tough guy. Do you remember?
This is the big dude.
Yeah, the big dude.
Okay,
yeah,
okay,
and he's like real life mixed martial artist.
Is he really? I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Okay. Because I looked on it. I looked to try to find stuff on him. I didn't really see anything.
Yeah, that's all there was on it. But I still thought that was cool because he does a lot of fighting, and it kind of...
He was great in the movie.
Yeah, hilarious.
I thought he was great. Yeah, so I thought he was just an actor who had done other stuff. That's why when I looked on IMDb, I'm like, what else has he been? He hasn't been in anything else. This is his only movie? Like, what?
Yeah,
but yeah,
it's still pretty neat.
Yeah, he was great in it.
Now, Stephanie Paul is in it again as the president, and I'm going to read the synopsis. A follow-up to the film Iron Sky, in which Nazis plan to take over the world after lying dormant in a secret military base on the moon. Okay, well, we already went over that. So, spoilers, without trying to give too many spoilers, but basically, a war happens, and... I'm like...
Speak.
I don't want to read anything, but basically, we discover there is Hollow Earth.
I was going to say, you can get that away.
Okay, I'm like, can I get that away? Because that's what I want to talk about. So this movie touches on Hollow Earth.
Well, you might want to explain what happens. So we mentioned the movie picks up where the last one left off in 2018, but then it fast forwards a bit. It fast forwards because essentially nuclear war breaks out on Earth, and it's uninhabitable. So a select group of people escape and head to the dark side of the moon. That's what happens, and then they continue colonizing it and everything from there. So
there's people on the moon, but it's not like it was before. They do have like issues with power and having enough food, and then another ship comes and lands there because they're trying to get off of Earth because it's not really inhabitable. But what we find out
it's not really habitable.
Sorry, habitable. Thank you. What we find out, though, is that certain people, certain elites, they go into the deep underground, into Hollow Earth.
Well, we find out that these elites of the world are not human.
No.
They are the Vril, which we've never talked about on this show, but we will have to do an episode on the Vril, because that's also another popular conspiracy theory. But that's what the elites are, and we find out that that's what the president, the female president in the first movie is, that she's Vril. We find out that Udo Kier, Kier, how do we say it? Udo Kier. We find out his character is Vril. Essentially, all of the Hitler is another one.
But
all these world leaders and elites, they're Vril. They're not human, which would explain why they are the way they are, right?
Now, inside Inner Earth, it's nice.
Well, where's the entrance to Inner Earth?
Antarctica.
There you go.
Yep. But there's dinosaurs there.
Yeah, dinosaurs.
And then there's like...
Yep, that's the only place they would be, because they were never on Earth. Don't get me going on that.
We were just having this conversation earlier with our little ones. But yeah, there's like dinosaurs there, and it's gorgeous, but it made me wonder when we've talked about Hollow Earth and are there aliens inside? It's like, imagine if it was Vril that lived in Hollow Earth, which wouldn't be shocking. Disappointing, yes.
Well, I mean, if you look at all the different stories and books that are out that speak about the Inner Earth and Hollow Earth and all these old stories, old legends, things like that. Could be. I mean, the Vril, we'll talk about the Vril in another episode, but essentially they were a fictional story that people just started to take as fact and believe is everything that I've found on what the Vril are, or people claim that they are, or whatever. But they're otherworldly beings or interdimensional beings, allegedly, of course. Supposedly, theoretically. And, yeah, I mean, from everything I could find, it was a fictional story that was written in the late 1800s, and people just started to take it and run with it and think it was a real thing. So, maybe it was, I don't know, but that's all. Like I said, that's what the information I found on it. I some other stuff too, but this isn't a show about the Vril.
No. But so basically, Obi and Sasha and Malcolm and a group of people, Donald actually, Tom Green's character, and a couple other people, they have to go to Earth, and I guess there's energy. There's these energy sources.
Vril energy.
Yes, that can heal you. It can keep you young. It's like endless energy, so they can use it to use on their spacecraft, so they can travel, so they can go somewhere where they might be able to get supplies that they need. Because the moon's falling apart, and
their base is falling.
Their base
the base
got pretty messed up.
Yeah,
and
the base is getting messed up.
They need a new place to live.
Yeah, right.
So they go to Earth, they go to inner Earth to find this energy source. And some people get their comeuppance during it, which was great. But ultimately, they need to get this. And the source, the energy source, is actually like causing there to be a sun inside.
Yeah, well, all the stories of inner Earth say that it's like another Earth.
There's
inside
like
of the Earth.
inside.
There's a sun, an atmosphere. It's essentially what you have out here is in there as well.
Which makes you wonder if it was true. Maybe we're inside something, and that's why maybe we haven't traveled to outer space.
Yeah, I mean,
it's a theory.
It's a theory. It's a theory for sure. And there's validity to a lot of this stuff. And again, all these things that are in his movie are all theories and conspiracy theories that people believe, the people have researched, and there's tons of information on it. So
what did you think about the sequel?
I liked the sequel a lot. I don't know if I liked it better than the first movie. I don't know. It's kind of tough to say. What I liked about the sequel was all the different conspiracy theories and just the way we weaved everything in.
It was done so well.
I enjoyed that. What I didn't like was the end with the Kit Dale character, which I'm not going to give away, but I was like, oh, they had to get that in. You know what I'm talking about. But it was one of those where...
I think they did it to kind of make the other little side plot of what was going on to make that work without anyone feeling bad or disappointed.
I suppose so, but I think also it's like, oh, the macho guy who's kicking ass the whole time. I kind of almost saw it coming before it was actually revealed. I was like, oh, they're gonna... And when they did, I was like, okay, all right. You just kind of knew that that's where it was going to end up.
Again, I didn't take it that way.
All right, that's fine.
But yeah, like with this movie, you're right, I don't. With this movie, I can't say I liked it more than the first one, but I feel like the first one and the sequel were just so different because it was almost about two different things in a sense, even though they're tied together. So I can't really choose a favorite with it.
I think for sure, I think that I want to say the first one was a little funnier, but then again, there was so much in the second one too. They're both campy science fiction movies. I mean, they're comedies essentially, but they're with a lot of action and excitement, and there's a lot of. The visual effects were great. I thought.
Oh yeah.
For a movie that was not widely released, that didn't have millions of dollars put into it, I couldn't tell. I thought they did a fantastic job with the resources that they had. All the visual effects I thought were great. I mean, even like the dinosaurs and stuff like that, I thought it was great.
Yeah.
Everything they had looked really great.
I feel like you can't say they didn't do a phenomenal job.
No, it was great.
I was like, this is better than most of the movies out there that have like endless budgets and like big name movie stars and everything.
Yeah, because I think with this one it was just because there was a lot of emphasis on the story and the characters, and it wasn't. I hate to use the word, but it wasn't agenda-driven like what you're getting out of Hollywood these last 10, 15 years.
But you know how sometimes there's movies where if there's no, like, stars that aren't well-known, some people are hesitant to watch it because they're like, I don't know anyone in this movie.
See, for me, that almost helps me get into a movie more if it's people that I've never seen or heard of before. That's why I think I like a lot of independent movies, a lot of, I guess not, low budget, I guess would be the word, or a lot of like straight to video type movies. I can get into those more than, say, a Tom Cruise movie, which I can get into a Tom Cruise movie too.
I can.
I know you can't, but I'm just using it as an example.
Yeah.
But you can suspend that disbelief a little more. It's kind of like a pro wrestling, right? A good pro wrestling match, you can suspend your disbelief. You can believe what's going on, right? But same thing with movies. Like, if I know, okay, it's a Steven Seagal movie. It's Steven Seagal. You know, you can get into the movie a little bit, you get into the character and whatnot, but if it's somebody you've never seen before, you almost kind of, for me, personally, I can almost kind of get lost in it a little more.
I feel like even though there were people that we knew of in the movie, it didn't matter. It was so good. You could get lost in it. Yeah.
It was
very, so well written.
Yeah, I enjoy it. We're probably overstating how great it is, but
I don't care. I loved it.
Very good. Very, very enjoyable movie, and they're coming out with another one. I'm not sure if you knew that or not.
No.
Yeah,
last time
one.
I looked, I couldn't find anything on it. So.
Yeah, there's another one coming out. It's on IMDb.
Is it?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, apparently I missed it.
It's coming out. It's in the Iron Sky universe. So type in Iron Sky. We're doing this live right here.
We're live, pal. Is it?
The Ark, and Andy Garcia's in it. Yeah.
The Ark, an Iron Sky story. A pair of audiophiles try to decode a mysterious message received from the moon that find themselves up against the Illuminati. Oh my gosh.
See? There you go.
When is this coming out?
It's in post-production right now. I don't think they have a release date yet.
But
it's been filmed. They're in post-production, so. And it's got a lot of the same actors, a lot of the same characters are going to be in it.
Which
so
is
I'm
awesome.
presuming it's going to take place probably before the events of Iron Sky, I would think, because Iron Sky ends with the world getting into nuclear chaos.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
But
I'm so excited.
Pretty cool. I saw that. I was like, oh, that's great. Another one coming out. Sweet.
The end of both movies, they lead you with something at the end to kind of get you ready for the next movie in a sense. And we've talked about it before when we talked about certain movies that do that and they make it sound like, okay, another movie's coming. But then they don't do it and it's really disappointing. So I'm really happy that they're actually making another movie.
Yeah.
Yay.
Yeah. And it's, I guess, the first one, Iron Sky, after it came out, it was like a cult hit. It really had a big following, and they made a video game. It came out on PlayStation 3, and I think on Xbox, but I'm not sure if it came out on Xbox. But I know for sure PlayStation 3, they came out with an Iron Sky video game.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
I just go back to think this was a movie that was partially funded by the fans. Fans that got to have little parts in the movie because they helped out with it, and they made a sequel. They're making another one. They made a video game of it. Like, that's so cool.
Yeah, it's pretty awesome. Yeah. So I mean, and again, if you watch it, and that's why I said I want to watch the movie, the first movie that this guy did. And I don't even know if it was his first movie, but it was the one that everybody got into, that got him into, that got these movies made. Yeah, thank you. That's what I was trying to say. Star Wrecked. I want to watch that because
I'm down.
It must have been pretty good if you had so many people passionate about it. Yeah. So Iron Sky. Check those movies out. They're great. I think that is it the sequel or the first? One of them is on Amazon Prime, I think.
Yes. Wasn't it the sequel is on Prime?
I can't remember.
Hopefully it still is by the time this episode comes out.
Yeah, hopefully. But if not, I'll tell you, it's worth the couple dollars rental or buy it if it's on sale streaming. I think I saw the DVD or the Blu-ray for $10 on Amazon or something like that.
Buy the tangible item. We've said it before. Yeah. Buy the tangible item.
Right, yeah. So yeah, enjoyable. I'm glad I found it.
Yes, I'm glad you did too.
Something good came out of my late night, sleepless nights.
Aww. Is there anything else you want to say about these movies?
Just watch them.
Okay.
Yeah, that's pretty much it. I think we did a pretty good job covering them without giving too much away.
I tried so hard. There, like in the first one, there was parts I wanted to bring up, and it's like I don't want to take that away because when I was watching it, I'm like, wait a minute, what the hell? Wait a minute, what's going on? And then you see it, and you're like, oh shit! I don't want to take that away from anybody.
I think you even said to me, wait, so this is supposed to be funny, right? And I went, yes.
I think it was like, there was a scene that was like
yes.
super ridiculous. I'm like,
yeah,
this is supposed to be funny? And he's like, yeah. I'm like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
Because I thought it was something about like a documentary and they were like kind of reenacting things and it was supposed to be serious.
Yeah, you thought it was like a serious reenactment style movie of like actual events or something. You thought that's what it was, and then the scene happened. You're like, wait, is this
3 minutes in, and I was like,
yeah. I'm like,
wait a minute.
It's a comedy.
Yes.
You're supposed to laugh.
So I really did my best not to give too many spoilers, not to ruin it for anybody. Okay, I tried so hard because I really want everyone to see it and enjoy it.
It's good. So it's funny.
Yeah.
It's definitely enjoyable. So check it out. Check them out. Both of them.
Yeah.
Oh, as I knock over my microphone.
There you go.
What else is new over here?
Pretty much. Technical difficulties last time. This time you're just making a mess.
Good grief.
Can't take him anywhere, huh?
No, but check those movies out, like we said, and let us know what you think of them.
Mm-hmm.
You can reach us, find us on social media. We have a Twitter,
At Homewrecker Pod.
Instagram.
Homewrecker Podcast.
We're on Parler too.
Yes, at Homewrecker Pod. I had to think about that. Wait a minute.
And you can find us on our website, and you can find all the shows on our website as well.
Yeah. Homewreckerpodcast.com.
There it is. And if you haven't already, please hit the subscribe button wherever it is you get your podcast, be it iTunes or whatever. And if you get a minute, leave us a 5-star review. We'd really appreciate it. And if you're listening but you want to watch us, you can find us on YouTube. We have a YouTube channel.
We do. And Brighteon.
And Brighteon as well. Exactly. So subscribe, like us on there as well. We really appreciate the support.
And I've noticed we're getting more subscribers on YouTube, so thank you so much. We really appreciate it.
Yes, thank you to everybody. Everything. Yes, absolutely. And to all the people who are commenting on all of our things, who are calling me such a jerk and saying they
someone called him a dick. It's awesome.
Can't listen to this.
Who wants to listen to this
guy? This guy's a jerk.
Aww.
This guy's yeah. I mean, if you're new listening to the show,
well, he was listening to a sound clip.
The person left that was listening to a sound clip, which I obviously picked that clip for a reason because I had that interaction with you. Which, for anybody who's not aware, I was a pro wrestler who was a bad guy.
It's our gimmick.
That was kind of the gimmick, but I've settled down a lot over the last few months.
You've gotten better.
Yeah, I've kind of tried to leave that bad guy persona.
But it's fun sometimes.
I guess, but it's a persona. It's a gimmick. This is a show. We're trying to be entertaining every now and again. And, sometimes I let the performer side of me come out, and I was a bad guy. That's what I was good at.
But it's funny because most of the comments are people complaining about you being a jerk.
Yeah. Which is hilarious if you know me in real life. It's not me at all.
He's like the nicest guy in the world.
It's a gimmick. I mean, sorry to burst anyone's bubble or ruin anyone's
I wouldn't be with him
but
if he was really a dick. So.
I promise anybody that's listening to listen to me in the past, it's for entertainment purposes. It's what you listen to this for, right?
I appreciate the people who try to stick up for me. It's so sweet.
Yeah, I think that's cool. That's great. If they want to stick up for you and all, that's great.
That's right.
And hey, if you hate me, it means I was doing my job right. So there you have it. But yes, we appreciate everybody's support, and keep leaving those comments. I love
getting in conversations. I'm like, ooh, somebody commented, and we'll be like sitting across from each other, and like I'll be typing our conversation. It's so cool.
Yeah, and Monique's the one that always tells me about stuff that people say, and I just kind of chuckle and go, what? All right, whatever. Some of the stuff you guys talk about is really cool, and I love it. Yes,
the missing 411 comments people have, and just all the stuff that's going on. Some people, like, we can talk real conspiracy, and I love it. So keep the comments
Yeah,
coming.
absolutely. I think it's cool just getting different people's perspectives on things, and then, a lot of times we'll get people that'll chime in with stuff that we didn't even think of.
Yeah.
And, it's awesome. I love it. I think that to me is the part of social media that I like, but it's still, I've still not enough to pull me back in. But that's the part that I like. I like where people use these mediums and will communicate with us, and we have positive interaction. Well, communicate with you, and I guess me through you as a proxy, I suppose. But yeah, definitely cool, definitely enjoyable. So keep those comments coming.
Yeah.
We appreciate them.
And we appreciate you as listeners, as watchers. We really appreciate everybody. Viewers, thank you. That sounded creepy, didn't it? As watchers.
Yeah, a little bit. It's kind of weird.
I'm sorry, viewers. I don't know.
Whatever. That's fine.
It's late.
Is
it's past my bedtime.
Okay.
As we're recording this.
I guess we should start to wrap this up then. So, until the next time. Until next time.
Technical difficulties again.
Good grief. I'm not editing this. We're going to keep this in just like it is. Yeah. Great. What's going on here?
I don't know. It doesn't want to work. You broke it.
I broke it or something.
Broke it.
So until next time, as an ad plays. Son of a gun. This is unbelievable.
Oh my goodness.
Alright, maybe I will edit this up. Maybe I won't. Anyhow. Alright, so find us on social media. Subscribe, like, all that good stuff. And thank you guys for listening. And did you want to add anything else before we sign off for the week?
I just want to tell everyone, you're awesome. That's all. I just feel like sometimes people need to hear it. And if you're watching us or listening to us, you're awesome. Just know that.
You're awesome?
Yeah.
Alright.
The people listening and viewing,
Well,
watching are awesome. And I just want to share that.
People watching.
Yeah.
The watchers.
I can't.
The watchers are awesome. All of our watchers are awesome. Thank you for viewing us, watchers. I'm just going to start. We're just going to flip-flop those now. They're not viewers. They're watchers viewing us. They're not viewers watching us. Wow.
Oh my god, I'm dying.
I didn't think it was that funny, but all right.
That was so funny. Words are hard. I've told you before.
Yes. All right. So until next time, I am the Golden Greek, Alex Arion. I've been joined, as always, by my beautiful, gorgeous, amazing trophy wife.
'Cause I'm a blonde, yeah. Throwback.
The lovely Monique.
And you've been listening, watching,
You've
viewing,
been hearing.
hearing.
You've been hearing. That was a layup. I thought for sure you were going to do that one. That's all right.
The Homewrecker Podcast.